At long last, a trade finally happened and James Harden is a Los Angeles Clipper, but despite having waited so long and the Sixers losing a ton of leverage, the Clippers still may have overpaid. Let's get into it. Welcome everybody, this is Amateur Sports 2, the second channel in the Amateur Production Network where we go through NBA-wide content and videos just like this, so get subscribed to the channel if you like what you see and drop a like to show your support. But James Harden has finally ended up on the Los Angeles Clippers and it kind of cost the Clippers a little bit more than I expect them to pay in this deal. The final trade was James Harden and PJ Tucker along with Phil Petrusev going to the Los Angeles Clippers, and in return, the Sixers managed to get, yes, the players, not great, but good picks involved here. Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum, Robert Covington, and KJ Martin are the players involved in the deal, along with a 2028 first-round pick from the Clippers and a 2026 first-round pick from the Oklahoma City Thunder. On top of that, 2 second-round picks were included and a pick swap. So a bit of a haul here from the Sixers. I guess after seeing Tyrese Maxey as the lead point guard for this team, they had maybe a little bit more ease involved with their mindset of trading James Harden. I think they wanted to trade him regardless, but the fact that Tyrese Maxey has played so well to start the season as the lead point guard has made this one a little bit easier, but the situation was never going to get resolved. James Harden is the greatest of all time at forcing trades. If he wants a trade, if he wants this, if he wants that, this guy is going to get his way. So any NBA player looking to make a trade, take note here. James Harden continuously reiterated he was never going to play for Daryl Morey again, and by God, he made sure at least he was never going to play for the Philadelphia 76ers again. So let's analyze this trade first of all, talk about who won the trade. I already kind of gave you a hint as to what I think, and then let's talk about the fit for James Harden in LA with the Clippers, and this really makes them championship contenders here, or bigger championship contenders. So as far as the trade in question here, the Clippers, oh my goodness, are they going to regret not including Terrence Mann in this deal? Like, what is it about Terrence Mann that this team is so infatuated with? Like, yes, the 27-year-old role player. He is untouchable. We cannot afford to lose a player like Terrence Mann. I mean, I understand in the sense for Terrence Mann that he's a great role player. He is a bit of a glue guy with this team, but if you're also acquiring James Harden, the necessity for a player like Terrence Mann diminishes. Like, you have Russell Westbrook there, you have Bones Highland there, you have now James Harden there. Like, I just don't really see the appeal, and I don't really see why they are going so far out of their way to hang on to Terrence Mann. And ultimately, it cost them an extra first-round pick in this deal. I was shocked to see that the Sixers managed to get 2 first-round picks in this deal. As far as the valuation for James Harden, on an expiring deal, the players involved here, like Batum, Covington, are not NBA players anymore, really, on expiring deals. Marcus Morris, yeah, he'll play a bit of the PJ Tucker role for the Sixers. Maybe he'll do a little bit better in that regard offensively, maybe not quite the same defensively, but I think there is some sort of role that we could see Marcus Morris playing, especially with Nick Nurse, who likes these switchable defenders, and Morris could kind of fit into that on the tail end. But again, expiring contracts. KJ Martin, a good little player to take a flyer on, I suppose, for the Sixers. But ultimately, the players don't mean much to me in this deal. They shouldn't mean much to you in this deal either. It's about the picks here. And I was pretty shocked to see 2 first-round picks going the way of the 76ers, considering the fact that they have lost all leverage in this negotiation. Like, the solution, if they weren't going to trade Harden, was essentially Harden was just going to sit out. We don't know for sure, but if Harden was going to play, you were going to get an unmotivated and likely not great James Harden on the floor. That's if he was going to play. There was a big probability or possibility that he just flat out wasn't going to suit up for this team. Yet still, the Clippers kind of went out of their way here to make this trade. I guess this is why the Clippers overpaid to make this trade happen. They recognize the window right now. They recognize the financial backing that has gone into building a new arena for this team. They need to be competitive. The Western Conference has continuously strengthened around them. The Suns obviously took massive strides in the offseason. The Denver Nuggets are the Denver Nuggets. The Lakers are back in play here. They made some massive strides in the offseason. The Celtics and Bucks on the other side of things in the Eastern Conference are, they strengthened mightily, both of them, in the offseason. So if the Clippers are going to want to compete in the NBA, especially with injury concerns that continue to hamper Paul George, and in more particular, they continue to hamper Kawhi Leonard. They wanted to make a splash here just to see, hey, if we're going to win a championship, we got to take risks like this, so they're going all out. So I respect the Clippers in that sense for going all out to try to make this trade, but were the Sixers really going to pester them for that extra first-round pick? Were they really going to pester them? Like, were they really going to get a better trade from somebody else in the NBA? I'm not so sure. So I don't think the Clippers needed to go that far, but I understand why they did. They've made themselves a better team. The Sixers, on the other hand, like I said, I mean, look, they get a bit of depth. This doesn't really do much for them for the right now. They can flip these picks. They may do so. I think that Clippers pick in 2028 is going to be extremely, extremely valuable as the Clippers start to decline, as these players start to age and they struggle. You know, it's the Clippers. They have always struggled to find people, to find players to play for them other than, you know, that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard summer. So I think that pick's going to be valuable. The Sixers, though, considering the situation, I think they're the best they could have done. On the Clippers side of things, how much better does this really make them? They've jumped up in sportsbook odds to the third best team, theoretically, in the Western Conference. But the Clippers, to me, yeah, obviously this trade makes them better. What's great about the Clippers is that their top two players, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, not only are they the top two players, they're also very good defenders, some of the best in the NBA. So that's great from a Clippers perspective. But when you consider the injury trouble, like, does this really change your opinion that much of the Clippers? Like, if you had the Clippers, like, realistically, where would you have them? A second-round playoff team, probably. Like, they're not as good as the Suns or the Nuggets, most likely. The Lakers would give them a problem. There's maybe some other teams like the Warriors that would give them a problem. If the Kings have a really good season, they could give the Clippers a problem as well. There's a lot of teams that could give the Clippers a problem. I think they'll struggle to get anywhere close to beyond the second round. I don't think the second round is a shoo-in for this team. That was before the trade. And after the trade, I mean, how much better are you going to rate them? How much better are you going to project this team? How can you with the injury troubles? Like, Paul George is so unreliable with injuries, and Kawhi Leonard even more so. Like, looking back on that 2019 Raptors championship, my God, it was a miracle that he played the entire playoffs without getting hurt. How did that happen? Looking back, how on earth did Kawhi Leonard manage to stay healthy for that entire playoff run? Like, you're telling me Kawhi Leonard and Paul George both have to stay healthy for 16 wins, so like 29, 30 games in total? Like, I just don't think that's going to happen. And that's if they're even healthy at the end of the regular season. On top of that, James Harden hasn't exactly been the healthiest player in the recent years either. James Harden, as well, is a notorious, not great playoff performer when the going gets tough. So, I don't know. Clippers, I understand why they did it, but yeah, power ranking wise, we'll give them a slight boost. But I mean, the Clippers didn't scare me before this trade because of the injury concerns, and they don't scare me after this trade. Like, it's crazy to say a team with Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard. Like, Harden's still good. He should have been an all-star last year. He was going to be an injury replacement if he returned Adam Silver's phone call, but he was pouting that he didn't make the initial team. In my team, I had him making the initial all-star team. There were question marks if he could make All-NBA. He was good last year. He's become a much better pick-and-roll player. He's a much better passer out of the pick-and-roll in terms of, not necessarily talent-wise, but he just does it more often. Like, he's a great fit with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. That on top of Zubac there, Plumlee there, PJ Tucker allows them to go small ball 5. They didn't have that option before. Norman Powell is a certified bucket getter playing with these guys. Like, this is a gross team. Terrence Mann, the amazing 27-year-old role player. He's still good, but this is a good team. I just can't trust them to stay healthy. Therefore, I cannot trust them to go beyond the second round. I think that the limit for this team, ceiling is a championship for sure, but I think the realistic outcome for the Clippers season is second round of the playoffs. If it's healthy, it can beat anybody. But even if it is healthy, I'm not sure it's as good as the Nuggets or the Suns. Probably say it. They are slightly better, but they got to go on a wild run if they're going to beat 2, maybe 3 of the Suns, Nuggets, and then the Celtics or the Bucks. That's just a tall task for a team with so many injury troubles. If they're healthy, my goodness. I didn't even mention Westbrook as well. He's a good player. How he fits with Harden, that's going to be a big question. They didn't get along the best in Houston, so we'll see with that one. But it's a great team. On paper, the best in the West. On the court, depends which players are actually playing. So, what do you make of this trade? What do you make of the Clippers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That's all for me on this video. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to Amateur Sports 2 for more NBA content like this. And subscribe to my main channel, the red logo, Amateur Sports, for Raptors-specific content. We have this extra one for NBA-wide content because I love talking about the NBA. But my bread and butter is the Raptors. Check me out over there. We'll see you soon for another video.